This is Don O'Malley with Don's Breakfast Cereal Show. Thanks for tuning in again. We're showing the last chapters of the Green Hornet. I hope you're enjoying these as much as I am. Today we're going to talk a little bit about Key Luke. You might recognize Key Luke as #1 son in the Charlie Chan movies. He was very popular back then, and he showed up in a lot of things. He was also in the Falcon series. Now the Falcon series, if you're not familiar with that, just think of a cheaper version of The Saint. And if you're not familiar with The Saint, I don't know how to explain it. Think of James Bond then. But we'll be back, and thanks for tuning in.
Here comes the Green Hornet now. The armored car. Come on. That takes care of the Hornet. Now to get those ballots out of that wreck and destroy them. Quick! You hurt badly?
No. Those armored cars are built for protection.
The police.
Good. They'll take the ballots in the armored car and keep them until the court order to impound them comes through.
Closing in on us, Ogden. Every move we make is blocked by the Green Hornet.
Better get in touch with Max Gregory and tell him to take it easy. If the Hornet discovers he's sending munitions out of the country, we'll have the G-men on us, as well as the police and the Hornet.
Better get Max on the phone.
Yes? Max Gregory speaking. All right, put him on.
Here.
Gregory, you better get that last shipment of munitions off your hands at once.
Young Roberts is making things difficult. I was about to go and see him. Perhaps you could suggest some way of putting on pressure.
I'll take care of it. He's got a warehouse at 39th and Grove, hasn't he?
With the new mayor in office, we got the hoodlums on the run. Maybe now he can take a little time off and run down the Green Hornet.
That's a pretty large order, isn't it, Michael? What do you want me to do? Give you 6 months vacation with pay or something?
6 months, is it? Give me 6 days and I'll run the Spalpeen to earth.
Take a look. That's one of Robert's warehouses.
John Roberts, the young fellow whose brother was killed by the racketeers?
Yeah.
Well, do you think the same gang maybe started this fire?
Very likely. You go in there and find out all you can about who did start that fire. I'm going to John's office.
Yes? This is John Roberts. You say you've got the fire under control? You don't know how it started. All right. I'll have the insurance people come down. Thanks. Britt Reid. Gosh, am I glad to see you.
Hello, John. I overheard your phone conversation. So that fire did cause you considerable damage.
Yes. Of course, my insurance will cover the actual loss. But I'll lose a lot of important customers and, well,
Spell it.
that fire wasn't accidental. Someone's trying to drive me into line same as they did Charles.
What's the racket?
Well, it's this way. I've kept this business right up to the standard that Charles set. As you know, we do a lot of shipping by rails in carload lots. Well, the other day, a fellow came in and demanded that I allow him to ship under my bill of lading. Wanted to commandeer my space.
What do you mean?
Well, if I was sending 2 cars, he'd take over 1. Wouldn't tell me who he was or what he was shipping, but he made it clear that I'd have trouble if I refused.
So that fire was the result of your refusal?
I'm sure of it. Well, there's been a series of smaller attacks. Breakdown of trucks, attacks on my drivers.
Have you notified the police?
No. You remember what happened to Charles when he went to the police.
Very well done, Dean. This fire will bring young Mr. Roberts to terms.
I have one more little surprise for him, down at the harbor. None of you talk, Turkey.
Very good. I'll talk again to Roberts tomorrow.
Better not. He knows you now, might spring something. Let me handle it.
All right.
All right, John, you talk to him out here. And put Jenks in the other room so he can hear what he has to say.
I sure appreciate this, Britt.
Well, we've got to rid this city of those crooks. See you later.
So long, Britt. He's on his way up now. Better get inside. What can I do for you?
You're Roberts, huh?
That's right. What do you want?
Listen, buddy. You can save yourself a lot of trouble. We made your proposition which you refused, but in view of what happened since, maybe you've changed your mind.
You mean that you and your crowd are responsible for that warehouse fire?
Never mind that. I'm giving you one last chance to come in with us unconditionally.
Yes, but I've got to know what your name is and what you propose to ship.
You want to know too much. Look out for trouble.
Careful, Jenks. I think he suspected something.
Okay, thanks.
Sentinel reporter following me. Get him.
Follow him, Kato.
Hey, what is this, a stick-up?
Just another scoop for the Sentinel.
Step on it. Step on it. We're being followed.
Sorry, Mr. Britt. I have lost them.
Maybe not. I caught the license number.
Nice driving, Pete. You ditched him.
Where to now?
Max Gregory's office. Take him up by the freight elevator in the rear.
And final negotiations with Roberts are now underway. If all goes well, shipment of arms will go forward at once. That's all. Put it in code and get it off immediately.
The private door, sir.
That'll be Dean with the report on Roberts. Let them in. What is this? What have you got here?
Sentinel man. Roberts had him planted to trail me.
What did you bring him up here for?
Well, no chance to get rid of him, and he knows too much to turn him loose.
That means we've got to strike at that shipment of his tonight. Throw him in that closet. I'll have him taken care of later. At Clearwater Junction, you board the train. You'll get your final instructions from Monroe.
Thanks for your cooperation.
The traffic bureau gave you the name of the owner of the car that carried off Mr. Jenks?
Yes, it's registered to a Max Gregory. Here it is, 311 Gardner Building. Mr. Gregory's going to be asked some questions tonight by the Green Hornet.
Take a message in wireless code. Roberts has again balked. The train carrying Roberts' shipment will be boarded at Clearwater Junction at midnight tonight. Roberts' cars and everything behind them will be uncoupled on the long grade west of Summit. That's all. Put it into code.
Never mind the code. I'll take it as it is.
The Green Hornet.
Give it to me.
Glad to see you, Hornet. We've decided we could make good use of you in our organization if we can come to terms.
I'll dictate the terms, and I'm taking over your organization. I know all about it.
Even the Green Hornet might need help transporting secretly ammunition.
Not from you, Gregory. All I want from you is the names of your associates.
All right, you have the upper hand. I guess I have no other choice. Here's the list.
I'll make you ask for it. Another one, eh? What's your connection with this gang?
I'm not one of this outfit. I'm after them. I'm a reporter from the Sentinel.
The Sentinel, eh? That muckraking reform sheet. I suppose you're after the reward for the capture of the Hornet.
Reward or no reward, the Sentinel's out to get you and the rest of the crooks in this town. Well, you keep me here, the rest of this gang's going out to wreck a train.
And blame it on me, eh? Well, I'll take care of that. Phone the police. These men are wanted for munitions and gun running. And don't try to follow me.
That storm is getting close.
There she is. Aboard the caboose.
All right, you fellas, get out of here and jump. Come on, get out of here. Get up forward, you two. Uncouple Robert's cars. Going up the summit grade. Catch her. Drop that gun and stay where you are.
Green Hornet.
Talk fast. Who's on this job with you and where are they?
What job? You got me wrong. I'm just bumming a ride.
You're here to wreck this train. Spill it or take the consequences.
No, don't shoot. I'll talk. The others are up front. We're going to...
No, you don't.
right, Mr. Britt?
Yes. No one was hurt. There were only 2 of us on the platform. Look around here. I had one of the crooks, but lost him when we fell.
Some people are coming this way.
That can't be found here. Where's the car?
Attacked me before we could uncouple Robert's cars. Then the train broke in 2 on the grade. But Robert's stuff in the front section went through safely.
Then we can thank the Green Hornet for breaking our hold on young Roberts.
And that isn't all. Max Gregory was taken by the G-men last night. Look at that. The Sentinel was the only paper that had the story. There's some connection there.
What do you mean?
Just this. The Green Hornet uses the Sentinel as a mouthpiece. Makes a hero of himself through publicity. We've got to stop that by silencing the Sentinel.
Hey, look here, boss. Gunnigan tells me you killed my story in the Cooper Zoo.
That's right.
But listen, that's a good yarn. The place is jinxed, I tell you. Accidents every few days. Some of the animals die without any good reason. A bear broke loose the other day and mauled a customer.
The Cooper Zoo and Carnival is the only playground in this city. If we print that story, we'll put them out of business.
Yes, but if it's true the place is jinxed...
It isn't true, and I don't believe in jinxes. If things are happening out there, there's a reason for it. We'll find the reason and then publish the story. Get Cooper on the phone for me, please.
Yes, sir. Mr. Cooper, please. Mr. Reid of the Daily Sentinel. Oh, he has. Thank you. Mr. Cooper has gone down to the docks to receive a shipment of animals.
Maybe we can catch him there. My car's right outside. Come on, Jenks.
It's a jinx, I tell you. Somebody's got to stop that beast. He's gone in. Come on. But something else will happen.
Well, I don't think this is the right time to talk to Cooper. I'll make an appointment so you can see him at the zoo.
Mike Cooper's office is down this way.
Wait a minute, I want to look at this.
Got no business to see it. You came in on a press pass.
That's the last word, Cooper. Up till now, we've just been playing with you, giving you a little bit of hard luck. But unless you come across with $5 by tomorrow night, the Cooper Zoo is going out of business.
But I can't raise the money. The shows haven't made a cent since those accidents started.
I'm not interested in your hard luck stories. Unless you come across with $5 by tomorrow night.
Yes? Well, the boys from the Sentinel. All right, I'll see them.
Nix.
Wait a minute, I got an appointment with those fellas.
Forget it. Tell them you can't see them.
Okay. Tell Jenks I'm sorry, I can't see him.
That's better. Talking to those reporters from the Sentinel is as dangerous as talking to the police.
Told you I couldn't see you.
Yeah, I know that, but you can't do that to me. I'm here by appointment, and I want an interview on those, accidents you've been having.
I've nothing to say.
And why not? Is there something phony about your show that you don't want folks to learn about?
All right, Cooper, get these men out of here. My business is important.
No man with an honest business need be afraid to talk to the Sentinel. But if you're trying to cover up anything...
That'll do, Mike. You know, we reporters never try to force interviews from people.
You don't what?
Sorry, Cooper. Better luck next time. Come on, Mike.
Forget those guys. The Sentinel's going to be taken care of shortly. Unless you have that money here by tomorrow night...
Where do you get that stuff reporters never force interviews?
Listen, Lug, I wanted to get out. Unless I miss my guess, that other guy in there was Lefty Bates, who did a stretch for extortion and blackmail 3 years ago.
You...
All right, Miss Case, take this. In regard to your letter...
Here's the picture of Lefty Bates we made when he was convicted.
What about the one Jenks took down at the
He's
zoo?
haven't developed. Here he is now.
There you are, boss. If that isn't a picture of Lefty Bates, and I'm losing my memory.
There's nothing wrong with your memory, Jenks. That's the man, all right.
That's fine. I'll give the police a tip and...
Easy there. Sure, he's an ex-con, but that doesn't mean that he's doing anything illegal now.
But the guy's working some sort of a protection racket at the zoo. By the way he talked to Cooper, it's 10 to 1 he's got something on him.
Well, you're probably right. But until you bring me concrete evidence, the Sentinel cannot make a charge.
Oh, I'll get you evidence, all right. And a story that'll bust his racket wide open.
All ready, Chief.
Sentinel reporters visited the Cooper Zoo today. I've made arrangements for the silencing of Britt Reid. Bates will collect $5,000 from Cooper tonight. Have enough men at the zoo grounds to take care of things in case of interference. That's all.
Dean will get in touch with Bates and find out what arrangements have been made and then join the rest of you at the zoo. All right.
There is danger in the Hornet visiting the zoo, Mr. Britt. There are too many people, too much right.
You forget there's a carnival there, Kato. A lot of the performers will be wearing masks. So it's the one spot in the city where the Green Hornet might go among others, unnoticed.
I want you to meet 640 pounds of tiny. Right this way, folks. The most sensational dancing and singing troupe direct from the island. Get right up, folks.
What do you expect to do here?
We'll find out who's causing all the accidents and nab them.
You'll be safe here.
Oh, we're not doing any good here. This is a job for the cops.
Sure, but the boss won't let us call them in without more evidence. Well, what's the matter with you?
I could have sworn I saw the Green Hornet.
It's just one of those chumps running around in a mask.
Hold it, Cooper.
Who are you? What do you want? The Green Hornet. So you've been doing all the collecting for Bates and his gang.
I collect for myself.
Collect for yourself? Then you don't belong to Bates and his gang? Give me back that money. Well, they'll wreck my zoo. They'll kill me.
Keep back. I'll take care of Bates. From now on, you're dealing with me. Tell Bates that when he comes in here.
Where's Bates? Going to collect from Cooper.
Yeah, and suppose Cooper don't come across.
I'm to meet Bates by the cat cages in 5 minutes. If he isn't there, we'll go to the office and find out why.
Ready, Mr. Britt?
Not yet. Here, take this $5,000 protection money. It belongs to Cooper. Be ready for a quick getaway.
Cooper, let's have the dough. Come on, make it snappy. The boys are waiting.
But I haven't got it.
You're lying to me, Cooper. I've had you trailed ever since you left here today. My boys were in the bank with you when you cashed the check.
That's true, but I gave the money to the Green Hornet.
The Green Hornet?
Yes, he was here ahead of you. I thought he came from you.
You're lying.
No.
You can't stall me with that cock and bull story. Come across or I'll tip off the boys and they'll wreck your show.
I don't think you will, Bates.
The Green Hornet.
Take your hand away from that gun.
What do you want?
A signed statement concerning your protection racket.
I'll sign nothing. I don't even know what you're talking about.
Oh, yes, you do. I just heard what you told Cooper. I want it on paper, and I'll give you 10 seconds to put it there. All right. I, Lefty Bates, ex-convict.
No, I won't do it.
Right.
One of those babies get loose and make this crowd stir their legs. Be more than one of them get loose if Cooper makes any trouble. Bates ought to be here by now. Come on, Corey, let's take a look.
Oh, we might as well go home.
Yeah, I think we had.
Give me some peanuts.
Oh, yeah. Hey, look over there by the popcorn wagon. 2 of them guys was in the car stealing racket.
Thank you.
You better get a cop. Cop, is it? Haven't I been a cop half my life? Come on. 1 minute, you mugs. I want a word with you.
Sentinel men, get him!
Hey, be careful, Be careful now! Hey, please!
What's that?
Cooper, I got the Hornet!
Snap out of it.
Well, shoot it. The Green Hornet.
Yes, Bates. You started this fire and stampede so he could collect more blackmail from Cooper.
No. No, I haven't been doing any blackmailing.
Perhaps this will persuade you to talk.
No, wait, don't. Don't use it. It's true. We're making Cooper pay protection.
What do you mean, we? Who are you going to take that money to?
A man, I don't know. I think his name is Ogden.
Ogden, huh?
Yeah.
Is he the man that's ahead of all this?
I don't know. I swear I don't. My job's just collecting the protection money.
What did you mean when you told Cooper that the Sentinel was going to be taken care of?
Nothing. It was just a threat.
You're lying again. There are worse things than being turned over to the police.
Okay, all right, I'll tell you. The man's going to put a bomb in the Sentinel office tonight.
At what time?
It's set to explode at about 11 o'clock.
All right, that'll hold you. Quick, Kato, take me to where I can phone.
Yes, sir.
This is evidence that Mr. Reid wants in one of those racket cases he's investigating.
It's strange he didn't say anything to me about it.
I can't help that. He told me to bring it here tonight before 11 o'clock.
Mr. Reid is hardly ever here at night.
He promised to meet me here.
Jenks speaking. Oh, so a man's gonna blow us up. I suppose you're the Green Hornet.
Okay, pal, I'm Napoleon.
The Sentinel office, quick.
This package contains very valuable evidence. Do you mind putting it in Mr. Reid's safe?
Very well.
Gotta risk it and go in the office, Kato.
Why not remove your disguise and go as Britt Reid?
I've got to do something that Britt Reid wouldn't do. There's no other way. Keep me covered at all times in case I get trapped.
The Hornet got Bates and left him for the cops. I have a hunch that Bates is going to talk plenty.
I'll get Monroe down here. It looks bad. You cover Williams at the Sentinel office in case the Hornet goes there before 11 o'clock.
I can't wait any longer. You're sure you locked that safe?
I took care of the safe.
Stand where you are. Did this man bring a package up here?
Don't tell him. He's the Hornet. He'll steal it.
Then you did bring a package up here. Would it induce you to find it if I told you that package contains a bomb that'll destroy this building at 11 o'clock?
That's a lie.
Where's that bomb?
I don't know.
Perhaps now you realize I'm in business. Where's that bomb? All right, if that's the way it is, I'll leave you tied up here to wait for it. If you know where that bomb is, miss, you'd better talk. It'll explode in 3 minutes.
Hey, what do you want?
We're after a man in there. We're from Sentinel.
No, you are not. I know you.
You've 1 minute to tell me where that bomb is. If you value your life, you'll talk fast.
All right, I'll tell you. It's in there, in Mr. Reid's safe.
Open that window.
Before they catch you.
He can't get away. He's trapped, and I'll collect the reward.
Don't be too sure of that. police, you've got enough evidence to convict him. This will only render him unconscious for a short while.
I won't let the police in until you get safely away.
Thank you.
I should thank you, and I do.
Say, what goes on? Who started the fireworks?
Get those cops up here. I've got the man who tried to blow us up.
Oh, I suppose you'll be telling me next the Green Hornet was here.
He was, and he was wonderful.
Oh, I give up.
Before those men went in, I heard them say they'd have to help Williams.
Got to trail them, Kato. They'll lead us to the man. The big shot we've been looking for. Come on, Kato. Place we've been looking for. The hideout of the big boss of the racketeers.
You are going in there tonight?
Now we have other things to do first.
I told you not to come here straight from a job. You might be trailed.
So what? Things are getting so tough, it's the only place to go.
What happened?
Plenty. Somebody wires the Sentinel mob to Williams' game. They heaved his bomb out of the window. And maybe him, too.
Bates must have talked.
Maybe somebody else did, too. There's been the smell of a double cross around here for some time.
What are you getting at, you lug?
Stop it! There's no time for trouble.
Well, we got trouble, all right. Why don't we split our take and get out of here while we're able to spend it?
You'll get yours when the time comes.
And that goes double for me, too.
Read all about the Green Hornet. Backstreet, Green Hornet, Green Hornet, Backstreet, Sentinel, Pepper, Backstreet, Green Hornet. Read all about it, Green Hornet.
Can you imagine the Hornet gallivanting around and me not here to catch him and collect that reward?
And of course, Miss Case is so wealthy that she didn't need the reward. So she let the Hornet escape.
Yes, and I'd do it again.
Listen, I even heard it rumored around that you helped the Hornet escape. You know, that makes you an accomplice and just as guilty as he is.
Guilty of what? Of cleaning up this city? They ought to pin a medal on him instead of trying to catch him and put him in jail.
Treason! By golly, I'm beginning to believe she was in cahoots with him.
Say, Ashford, bring my car out, will you? I've got to go home and pack. I'm going out of town for the weekend.
Yes, sir.
You sure Axford didn't see us come back?
Yes, Mr. Britt.
Good. We're going to investigate that place we discovered last night.
You mean where those men went, in the car?
Yes, Bates mentioned a man, Ogden, to whom he paid protection money. And there's a firm, a brokerage firm, Monroe and Ogden, occupying offices in that building.
We will go there?
Yes.
I'm pretty sure that we'll find that Monroe and Ogden are the big shots we've been looking for. Office is at the end of the corridor on the 3rd floor. I'll take the fire escape.
You might as well know, Monroe. We've been talking things over.
What's the matter, turning yellow?
No, but just as I told you yesterday, we think the job is getting too hot.
Pete, come in here. raising a squawk? Is he talking for all of you or just for himself?
That's news to me. I'm satisfied, and I guess Andy is too.
How about it, Andy?
It's okay by me.
That's the chief's signal. We'll see what he says. Yes, sir, we're ready.
With regard to the question you put to me this morning, we have too big an investment at stake to give it up without a fight. The Green Hornet is giving us most of our trouble. He must be stopped, and the Sentinel must be silenced.
We're carrying out the chief's orders.
Well, I'm still for getting out while we can.
And giving up everything we worked for?
No. We'll take the dough that's in that safe and split it up and lay low for a while.
Oh, we're wasting time. Let's bring that stuff up from the car.
Dean and the boys can take care of that. You and I have an important call to make. Andy, you better wait here. I'll phone you in a few minutes. Okay.
Put him in the outer office and watch for the return of the others.
With regard to the question you put to me this morning, we have too big an investment at stake to give it up without a fight.
Pretty clever, Monroe. Using a phonograph record to conceal from the rest of the gang that you were the chief. Good work, Kato. Put him in with the other man. Use your gas gun if necessary. Any sign of the others returning?
No, sir.
Get in that closet and speak into the microphone you'll find there.
Hello? Hello? Can you hear me?
Yes, that's enough. This gives me a great idea.
Hello?
Andy?
Yeah.
This is Ogden. Did the boys get there with that stuff yet?
No, and that ain't all. How long will it take you to get back here?
About 5 minutes. What's up?
Pete just come back. He says he heard Dean and Corey planning to crack the safe and clear out.
Well, you keep 'em busy. We'll get right back there.
Now, if we can open that safe in a hurry, we'll make those crooks capture themselves.
Hey, where's Andy? Monroe told him to stay on the job.
I'm looking for Pete, I guess.
Where's he?
I don't know. Hey, what's that? The signal Monroe gets when the chief wants to talk to him.
Let's hear what he's got to say.
Attention, Monroe. Pete and Andy have been caught by the police. They will talk.
Get all the money out of the safe and take it to the Mortensen place.
I'll meet you there later. And it's important to get rid of Dean and Corey at once, as we discussed.
Oh, they discussed us, huh? And they're going to get rid of us. Come on, Corey, we'll beat them to it.
And what do we do?
Open that safe, take the dough, and get out of here. Oh, it's open. What a break.
Let the double-crossers have it.
Gather up all that money and put it in the Black Beauty at once.
There is a lot of it.
Every cent of it must be returned to the men it was stolen from. Roberts, Cooper, and all the others.
Can you imagine me sleeping there in the Green Hornet delivering letters to me? And a most insulting notes case, too.
What does it say, Michael?
My job is finished. Too bad you couldn't catch up with me and collect the reward. But perhaps another day is coming, so better luck next time, you wild Irishman. And signed with the seal of the Green Hornet, no less.
Did I hit the front page with that story, or did I? I ought to read a byline after this.
And what I'm wondering is who gave you that mysterious tip that put you wise?
The Green Hornet, of course. Judge Stanton and the police commissioner are here to thank the Sentinel for breaking up the rackets.
Too bad the Green Hornet isn't here to take a bow. Eh, Casey? Show them in.
A resolution passed by the City Council and signed by the Mayor, citing the Sentinel for its distinguished service in freeing the city of the rackets which were exacting such a financial toll.
Hooray! Thank you, Judge Stanton. The Sentinel did its duty as it sought, and will do it again should it ever be necessary.
He's the one who really earned it.
Oh, take that thing down. Sure, it is a sight that makes the eyes of me sore.
Let us stay, Michael. The Green Hornet is gone. He said his job was finished. And if we get Miss Kay sore, she's liable to call him back again.
I don't believe he's gone. I believe he's just been too clever for us. And he's probably someplace close right now, laughing at us all for our stupidity.
Miss Case, you're positively psychic.
Oil, black gold, wealth beyond dreams, brings money-mad, ruthless oil pirates and trouble to the land of the Tiger Woman. Crossing the world to help her, Alan Saunders, a thrill-hunting soldier of fortune, is constantly shadowed by the threat of death and has the most spine-chilling adventures of his thrill-packed career when he joins forces with the Tiger Woman.
The men that are causing you this trouble are my enemies as well as yours. And I promise to do everything within my power to bring them to justice.
Mr. Geyer. Emil van Boorman speaking. Yeah. It's no use. Yes, I have to give it up. I can't do it. I can't cut the diamond. Yes, we'll have to get someone else. Huh? Never mind why. It's impossible.
Mr. Chan, I can't tell you how distressing the whole thing's been. I know you're on holiday, but...
Slightly inaccurate. I am in London to speak before international gathering of chiefs of police. Son on holiday. I notice in newspaper account of diamond. No mention was made of owner.
Exactly. That's the point. That's the largest stone to have been brought out of the Nigerian mines in the last 50 years. It was to have been presented to the Crown Collection.
And this Emil van Boorman?
The finest diamond cutter in Europe. A superb craftsman. That's why I couldn't understand it.
Understand what, Mr. Greer?
The length of time he needed to study the stone for cutting. It's been over 5 weeks. Last night he telephoned me. He said he couldn't go on with it. He said I'd have to get somebody else. I think that's when the attack took place. At least it sounded like that.
Then truth about diamond may be hidden unless unfortunate Mr. Van Boorman recovers from coma.
Mr. Chan, my company has authorized me, has begged me, in fact, to retain you at any fee you like. Within reason, of course. Surely you must realize how vital it is that we recover that stone.
Also realize this case comes under jurisdiction of old friend, Inspector Duff. Do not like to walk on his feet.
Step on his toes, you mean, Pop? I have already spoken to Inspector Duff. He hasn't the slightest objection.
In that case, renewal of old acquaintance with Inspector Duff seems to be first logical step. I hope you don't mind presence of #1 son, Inspector. He has promised to observe only, not participate.
I'm afraid there won't be much observing to do. This is Mr. Franz Weber. He's Emil van Boorman's houseman. Just about sewn the case up for us before he's had a proper start. I know you're tired, Mr. Weber, but would you mind telling Mr. Chan about last night?
It was my night off. I had dinner at my sister's in Bayswater. And when I came home, I saw a man running out of the house. I rushed to the workroom and found Boorman on the floor. And the diamond was gone. I called the police.
You can go now. We're very grateful for your help.
Thank you.
Poor chap's been all night running through our files. He finally identified the man he saw running away.
Mr. Weber's identification is certain?
Quite. Mrs. Van Boorman backs it up. She saw him briefly from a window. I've already had the man arrested.
Who is he, Inspector?
An all-round unsavory character named Bert Conway. He's a bookmaker now, but his record goes well back. Vicious-tempered blighter. Tried to beat a chap to death a few years ago.
I do not like to impose, Inspector, but might I see this person?
I'd arrange it.
Get out of here. I've had a belly full of coppers today. Get out, I say.
But I am not policeman, Mr. Conway.
You blokes are all the same. Running over with questions, but you don't listen to the answers.
We'll gladly listen.
And I'll tell you what I told them. I had nothing to do with that job. Nothing. And I'll tell you something else. If ever I get out of here, Franz Weber better hide. Because I'll kill him for framing me like this.
Why would he lie, Mr. Conway?
How do I know? I'll tell you something. It wasn't me at Van Boorman's house. Not last night.
Oh, then you have been there. Another time?
Why not? I'm a bookmaker. Weber bets with me. I've been there once or twice to collect. He owes me plenty. That's why he framed me. Don't you see? That's why he framed me. You don't believe a ruddy word, do you?
Did not say so.
Doesn't matter. Just do me a favor, chum. Don't forget to give Weber my loving greetings and tell him I'll get him for this.
Would think present predicament is enough trouble for one man.
You only die once, chum.
Let us hope not too soon. Don't tell me. More police. I am Mr. Chan. I have been asked to investigate strange disappearance of diamond for interested party.
Well, don't be too tough on my mother, will you? She's been questioned so often, her nerves are all shot to pieces. In fact, the doctor's with her now.
I will try not to upset her. You are?
Holton, Kirk Holton. Van Borman is my stepfather. Perhaps I can be of help to you.
At present, only wish to question Mother, but thank you.
Well, be kind to her, won't you? I'll let you in. She's in the room on the left.
Here, drink this, Paula. Then I want you to go upstairs and have a rest.
I can't sleep. I keep on thinking about Emil, seeing his face.
Your nerves can only take so much. Now, we can't have you going all to pieces.
Come in.
Mrs. Van Borman, my name is Chan.
Yes, I know. Inspector Duff telephoned.
My number one son, Barry Chan. Hello?
This is Dr. Laird.
Please excuse inappropriate choice of time, but must ask a few questions.
Mrs. Van Borman is in no state to answer questions.
It's all right.
I forbid it.
George.
Can understand doctor's concern, Mrs. Van Borman, therefore will be brief. Do you corroborate Franz Weber's story about Conway running from house last night?
Well, it was dark, but I'm almost certain it was Conway.
Your husband, he is from Holland?
Yes, he came over after the war. We've been married 4 years.
And your son?
From a previous marriage.
He lives here?
In the holidays only. He's at college in Amsterdam.
Then you did not find it convenient to have him attend school in this country?
Kirk preferred Amsterdam.
Your houseman, Franz Weber, is he Dutch too? Just asking, Pop.
But he and my husband were old-time friends. Mr. Channer, I don't feel well. I'd best go to bed.
Of course. Just one more question, please. Cannot understand husband's prolonged study of the diamond and then reluctance to complete assignment.
Well, he's been ill. Dreadfully nervous. Dr. Laird has been treating him, but he just didn't seem to respond. Now, you really must excuse me.
Is it possible for me, Mrs. Borman, to look over the house?
Oh, yes, of course. Go ahead.
What is that, Pop?
Maybe perhaps straw in the wind.
Well, what now? You've gone over the place like a vacuum cleaner, still nothing.
Patience can be likened to sleeping flower. Cultivate same and it will reward you handsomely.
Yeah, sounds good, but reward can come awful slow.
Not always. Just borrowing few pills will return same.
Forgive my apparent rudeness earlier today, Mr. Chan, but you must understand my concern over Mrs. Van Borman's state of nerves.
Nerves seem not to have been confined to Mrs. Van Borman alone, Doctor.
Oh, she told you I was treating Emil.
Any reason why such treatment should be kept secret?
Emil wouldn't have wanted it known that he wasn't well. World's foremost diamond cutter with shaky nerves, it wouldn't have done his reputation much good, now would it?
Might I ask what type of treatment you prescribe?
The proper one. A type of tranquilizing pill. What's your point?
May I see your note on original prescription, please?
Get out of my office, Mr. Chan.
But my request is most simple.
If you want to challenge my medical reputation, you will have to get a court order to do it. Now get out!
Most grateful for cooperation.
Pop, do you think we can get that prescription?
There is another way to accomplish the same end. Return to hotel, my son, have dinner, wait for me in room. I shall be at Scotland Yard.
So, your father sent you to get the prescription. Pity. He forgot that a householder is entitled to shoot a thief ransacking his premises. In self-defense. I could pull this trigger, you know. It'll be quite within my rights.
It's murder, that's what it is.
Merely defending one's own property. A prescription. Why'd your father want it so badly?
I don't know. It wasn't his idea for me to come.
Where's he now?
Don't call him.
Where?
Scotland Yard.
Sure you don't want me to wait? The analysis of those pills shouldn't be too long.
No, Inspector Duff, I have already imposed sufficiently. I shall wait alone.
Inspector Duff, one moment. It's for you.
Yes? Please do nothing until I arrive. We'll come immediately.
Anything wrong?
We'll not wait for analysis of pills, Inspector, but most grateful. Good night.
There you are, sir. I hope you'll find the details of it.
Most unusual, Doctor. Gun decidedly out of place in hands of man devoted to saving life.
I think not, in the circumstances. Are you aware that I could have shot him?
Very much aware.
Also, for illegal entry, I can prefer a charge. Have him jailed.
If you so desire. But before getting to well-meaning son's foolishness, suggest you examine this. Much more serious than son's mistake.
What's that?
Analysis of pills you prescribed for unfortunate Mr. Van Borman. Worst kind of prescription for a nervous man. A stimulant. Not, as you claim, tranquilizer.
That's not true. Here's the note for the original prescription. Any chemist will tell you it's for a tranquilizer.
If true, Doctor, my profound apologies. However, one more question. Did you treat anyone else in the Van Borman household?
Only Mrs. Van Borman. No one else. Now, look here, Chan, let's get this clear. We'll forget this incident because, well, it's awkward. But I've got nothing to hide. And I don't want to be annoyed by either of you again.
One favor, please. May I borrow this for a short time?
You certainly may not. Now, will you kindly go?
Expulsion from your office is becoming quite a habit, Doctor. I must find a cure. Harry, father's advice for future. One does not solve crime by committing another. Understand?
Yes, Pop.
Very well. We talk no more about illegal entry. Pity Doctor did not let me have prescription. Feel it would have been very useful.
You want it? Then it's yours.
Meaning?
I've got it.
I just told you, stealing is also illegal.
Yes, but memorizing isn't. My Latin isn't too good, but it's good enough for that. Besides, you know, I got to do something to repay you back for my college education.
Most grateful for first payment. Now we will visit chemist who filled prescription.
That doctor is mixed up in it somewhere. I know it.
But you just heard report of chemist. Dr. Laird's prescription is for tranquilizer. But only you and I know that.
Then what's the answer?
Next step, discover who put stimulating pills in tranquilizer bottle.
Who do you suspect?
Not sure. But remember first meeting with doctor, his overprotectiveness for Mrs. Van Borman, his reluctance to have her answer questions. Perhaps we have been examining puzzle from wrong end, my son.
I know. We're going to the Van Borman's house.
We?
Oh, please, Pop. I won't mess things up this time. I'll keep a zipper on my mouth. Cross my heart.
No, on this occasion, you must wait outside house.
What is it?
Time for truth, I think. Hans Weber identified Bert Conway as man who ran from house. You backed up identification. How, Mrs. Van Borman? From window, one cannot even see road at night, much less identify a man. Would like to know reason for false identification. Very well. We'll give you logical reason. To protect someone else. But who, Mrs. Van Borman? Dr. Laird? Your son, Weber, who? I am most anxious to help, but cannot do so alone. Must know reason for a deliberate lie.
was George. Dr. Laird. We're in love. Oh, my marriage was going wrong. Emil is difficult. I was about to ask for a divorce when this dreadful thing happened.
And you made false identification to protect Dr. Laird?
It couldn't do any harm. I knew the charge couldn't be proved. I had to keep George's name clean. Don't you see, a divorce at a time like this? Can't you see what people would think?
Ways of a woman in love, Mrs. Van Bowman, were never born in cradle of logic.
I told you the truth, Mr. Chan.
Hope to obtain same from Franz Weber. You know his whereabouts.
He's probably with his sister.
No, I have not seen Franz today. Not since he had dinner here last night. Is something wrong?
There is no cause for alarm, Miss Weber. Do you remember what time he left here last night?
10:15. But already I have told police. Please, I must know what is wrong. My brother is not well, man, Mr. Chan. I must know what is happening.
What do you mean, not well? He's being treated by a doctor? Dr. Laird, perhaps?
No. Dr. Kraus. He also is Hollander, like Franz and me. But I must know what is wrong.
Have feeling you can make things less wrong by giving me address of Dr. Kraus.
Papa, I don't get any of this.
No time for explanations, only for pursuit of elusive truth. Take taxi from here to Van Borman House as Franz Weber claims to have done. Make 3 trips. Must know exact time of each trip. When finished, meet me in office of Dr. Kraus. Understand?
Yeah, sure.
Good.
Yes, Franz Weber has been a patient of mine for many years. A fine man. Why do you ask?
I do not wish you to violate ethics of your profession, Doctor, but it's extremely necessary for me to learn nature of his illness.
Weber lived in Holland under Nazi occupation. That alone crushed many men. Losing a son through their brutality didn't help matters. He's no longer young. The past seems to be catching up with him. He lacks energy. But pills can't change the past, you understand?
And the kind of pills you prescribe, Doctor?
A stimulant. Not my choice exactly, but he wanted to try and it seemed to help. Excuse me. Dr. Krause? Yes? When? I was afraid of that. All right. I'm on my way. Yes, goodbye. I'm afraid I must leave at once, Mr. Chan, a patient of mine.
You have been most kind, Doctor. I am expecting my #1 son, who is carrying out investigation of enormous importance. Would it be possible for me to wait here for him?
Please, make yourself at home.
Thank you.
Never was so tired of riding in cabs in my life.
How many trips, my son? Quickly.
3, like you said, Pop. The first 2 times, it came out exactly half an hour, and the third time, 1 minute less.
So time for each trip, half hour. Yet Franz Weber took 45 minutes. Why? Answer would be interesting. Inspector Duff, please. Charlie Chan calling. He left no message where to be located? Thank you.
Well, what is it?
Conway released from jail cell 1 hour ago. Police found man to corroborate alibi. Just remember it. Conway threatened to kill Weber, and Conway is not man to make idle threats. Calling Van Borman home to warn Weber if he is still there. Busy.
What are we going to do now?
Get the fastest taxi cab in London.
Oh, again?
Now, we settle our score, don't we, Mr. Weber? You won't frame no one else with your lies.
No, please! Stop, Conway. Put up hands. I usually deplore violence, my son, but this time, most acceptable.
You all right? I don't want to sound unsympathetic, Weber, but your mistake about Conway hasn't helped any of us.
My humble apologies, Inspector, but Mistake is very inaccurate word. I'm sure now, Mr. Weber, you are willing to help police?
You don't realize.
I realize many things, Mr. Weber. I realize, for instance, how man's nerves can go to pieces when fed stimulants and tranquilizing pills as Emil Van Borman was. By you.
But he was a collaborator, traitor. He worked with the Nazis in Holland.
Traitor? Emil? You believe that? You, his friend? Oh, Franz, he was anything but that. Didn't you realize he was working for British intelligence?
Yes, Mrs. Van Borman, he knew. Matter of fact, shoe is on other foot. You are a collaborator. You are a traitor. Do not deny. And someone else also knew secret. Is that not so? And price of his silence was that you prevent cutting off the big diamond. That's why you drugged Van Borman.
All right, I did it. I gave him the drugs, but I didn't steal the diamond. I swear I didn't.
Now swearing to truth for first time. Your work was merely to delay cutting.
Sounds screwy, Pop. What good would that do anyway?
I think approaching footsteps will bring answer. You see, Inspector Duff, cutting had to be delayed until student could return home at vacation time and get diamond.
Mr. Chan, I'm a customs official from London Airport.
Did you find diamond, Inspector?
Just as he was boarding the plane. In his briefcase, not even hidden.
But that's impossible. He's only a boy.
With very expensive tastes. On first meeting, young man noticed he had gold cigarette case and lighter. Very unusual for a college student to possess.
And you can chalk up another reason. I hated Van Borman. My mother and I were happy till he came along, interfering, taking her away from me. I'm only sorry I didn't hit him harder.
Oh, Kirk.
Bring him along, boys.
It is very regrettable, Mrs. Van Borman. However, if it is any consolation to you, perhaps his early apprehension may prevent a future career of crime. Hello? Oh. Thank you very much. Good news follows bad news like day follows night. Your husband is now out of coma. We'll be all right.
I'll try to make it up to Mr. Chan. I'll try.
And the doctor?
That's all over. I promise.
Good.
Pop, I've got the case all figured out, but how did you arrive at your solution?
Well, young criminal was too arrogant and stupid to observe caution. He left telephone number of airport on mother's living room table, remember? Then very simple to find out reservations of airplanes, also to warn customs to search students' baggage.
Yeah. Well, I knew it was him all the time. I just didn't want to jump to any conclusions.
Oh, very, very wise, my son. Conclusion jumping by you could be like touching sunburned friend. Always land on tender spot.
Next on Encore's Mystery Channel, stay tuned for another intriguing episode of The Avengers. Coming up next right here only on Encore's Mystery Channel.
Hello, this is Don O'Malley again with Don's Breakfast Cereal Show. Key Luke was also in Enter the Dragon. Now, you didn't see him because he was the voiceover of Mr. Han. So, there we have a connection where not only Bruce Lee played Kato, so did Key Luke. And we'll be back. Thanks.
Jack Marlowe, lover of beauty and women, tossed by violent emotions like a straw in a hurricane. Carol, as loyal in love, as relentless in hate as fate itself. Scott Henderson, accused of murder, and his only alibi, a mirage, a phantom lady. Inspector Burgess, who condemned to death a man he knew was innocent. Cliff, a hopped-up drummer who held the key to a crime. Ann Terry, who entered a man's life for one night, then vanished.
Give me a break. What's the difference whether my tie's okay or not? It makes a great deal of difference, Mr. Henderson.
Yeah? Why?
Your wife was strangled with one of your ties. But I'll get the murderer sooner or later. It's always simpler when they're insane.
You sure it isn't sour grapes, Inspector?
You ain't got nothing on me. Nothing.
Who bribed you?
Wait a minute.
Yes, you can't help it because you're mad!
How many times I have to tell you not to play around with that filthy nonsense?
Do not fear it, Master. Voodoo can protect as well as destroy.
Fear it? I despise it, you fool. Wax images, potions, nail parings, and what have you. Tell me, Bartu.
Master?
What did you want those hair clippings for? Planning to put a spell on me? Answer me, you sullen brute, unless you want the beating of your life.
Master, do not beat me, Master. Do not even talk of beating me.
I want to talk to you.
Judging from the look on your face, I probably don't want to listen.
It's important.
Well, what is it?
The guest list for this weekend.
Well, what about it? It's all fixed. Bill Payne, your cousin Harold, that Chinese detective Charlie Chan, who did me a service in Honolulu, and his son. A mixed bag, but interesting.
You know perfectly well what I mean.
My dear Anne, I'm not clairvoyant.
You deliberately left Michael Ross off the list. Why?
For the very good reason that I don't want him in my house.
Why? What reason have you to say that?
Because he's a miserable fortune hunter, that's why.
He's the finest man I know, and he happens to be in love with me. He couldn't care less about your beastly money.
My dear, how naive you are.
I tell you, he loves me, and I love him.
Indeed. And tell him from me that on the day he marries you, I'll change my will so you get nothing. See how his affection stands up to that.
Tell him yourself. He's coming here this weekend after all. You see, I asked him.
Anne, come back here. Anne! Anne! Mr. Chan did brilliant work for me in Honolulu. A masterpiece of deduction.
Please, like aging spinster, I'm getting too old to blush becomingly. However, most grateful for flattering word.
Tell him about the case, Pop. Go on.
Among traits my number one son has failed to inherit is modesty. Real or assumed.
But we'd love to hear, Mr. Chan.
Mr. Temple was victim of robbery in Honolulu. Thief was apprehended and items recovered. But now let us turn to a topic more interesting, such as Mr. Payne's great discovery in Honduras.
I shan't even try to be modest. I'm too pleased with myself. This claim we located may turn out to be one of the biggest uranium finds in years.
Not to mention one of the most lucrative.
You accompanied Mr. Payne to Honduras?
Accompanied is the word. He did all the work. Nonsense, Harry. We'd struck nothing for weeks, and I was about ready to give up when he insisted on one more trip. That did it, and he deserves full credit.
Well, maybe I deserve a little credit, too, for putting up the cash.
You certainly do, Uncle Joseph. And a few extra marks for giving me the chance to do something worthwhile for a change.
You told Harry about our agreement yet?
I thought that should come from you.
Hello, what have you two been up to behind my back?
Something you'll like. I'm buying Payne's interest in the mine and turning it over to you instead of the lump sum I promised you. You're going to be a very rich young man, my boy.
You're giving me half the mine instead of... instead of...
I promised you a large capital sum if you succeeded. You did succeed. So I'm going one better. I'm giving you half of the mine, making you independent for life. Any objections?
Man, I sure wish I had an uncle who would give me a piece of a uranium mine.
Obviously, my number one son has been very unfortunate in the choice of blood relations.
Well, a little thanks wouldn't be out of place.
Oh, yes, of course. Thank you very much, Uncle. Thank you very much.
This is Michael Roth, all of you, a friend of mine.
But not, let me make it plain, a friend of mine. Mr. Ross is aware he's not welcome here.
How dare you, Father?
Forget it, Anne. I put up with a lot worse for the chance of seeing you. Shall we go into the garden? I should hate to see your father throw a fit.
Get around with that tray, Bartu. Standing there like a dummy.
The snake. The snake tattoo.
You wish a drink, young master?
Uncle, you shouldn't speak the way you do to Bartu.
Why not?
That snake tattoo, don't you see it? Don't you know what it means?
Some voodoo rubbish, I believe.
It's not rubbish. It means he's been initiated into the most secret rites.
Secret rites, my eye. Do you believe in such nonsense, Mr. Chan?
I have slight knowledge of the ancient art, Mr. Temple, but not sufficient to offer opinion.
I caught Bartu trying some on this morning, collecting hair clippings from my head. To make a death fetish, I suppose. I knocked him out of his hand and promised him a beating if I caught him at it again.
You struck him?
Certainly. I haven't dropped down dead yet. There's the gong. Let's take our drinks with us.
Slam. Game and rubber. Congratulations, partner.
Thank you.
This game is kind of like detection, isn't it, Pop? You know, the way you got to figure things out.
Well, principles of logical deduction are certainly most important in each. However, bridge is much more relaxing than detection.
Now, there you are, Anne. I suppose it would be too much to expect you to pay any attention to my guests.
I'm sorry if I've neglected you all, but when you hear our news, I know you'll forgive me. Will you tell them, or shall I?
Oh, let me, darling. Anne has just agreed to become my wife.
Gee, that's great.
Fine. Now, wait a minute. I suppose the small formality of obtaining my permission didn't occur to either of you.
I don't need it. I'm over 21.
Indeed. I imagine you think you've done very well for yourself.
Anne has made me very happy.
I'll bet. Visions of luxury and ease for the rest of your life, eh?
You've no right to talk to me like that.
I'll talk as I please to a wretched fortune-hunting parasite.
If you weren't Anne's father, I'd hit you. Come on, Anne.
Wait.
Let's go.
My lawyer will be round here first thing in the morning to change my will. Man won't get a penny.
Your privilege. Come on, darling.
Come in, please. Oh, thank you, Bartu. A cup of good tea on arising is almost preferable to a handful of emeralds.
Do the young master wish tea now?
No, just make mine emeralds.
Later, please. I would suggest number one son arise from man-made bed and enjoy natural beauty of England in the morning.
Oh, kind of bright, isn't it? I got to bed late.
For what reason?
Playing billiards. Ross beat me. Just a fluke.
Just a fluke, huh? Could it perhaps be that opponent was superior?
No, I was just getting hot when he made up some phony story about being tired and quit.
But he had a very tiring day. Why should he make up phony story?
I know it was. Because he left his cigarette lighter in the billiard room, And when I went by his room to give it back to him, he wasn't there.
Oh?
And what's more, I know where he was.
Well, please elucidate to humble father.
Having a heck of a row with Mr. Temple. You could hear him all along the corridor.
Well, of course, this might be...
What's that?
Sounds like impending trouble.
Wait for me.
He's dead, Mr. Chan, isn't he?
Yes, he is dead.
His heart, it wasn't very good.
Well, it's not his heart, Miss Anne. Your father was murdered. Please call police.
Doc says his provisional report shows that Temple died of a fractured skull. The usual blunt instrument could be this. Shows traces, though the lab will have to confirm, of course. Now, Mr. Chan, when did you last see this servant, what's his name, Batu?
According to delightful English custom, he brought tea to our room just as Miss Anne screamed.
Ah, then he can't have got far. They'll soon catch him. Well, Mr. Chan, it looks like an open and shut case for once, eh?
Your optimism, Inspector, is very refreshing. I would appreciate explanation of reason for same.
Well, this chap Batu. Temple treated him like a dog. Pushed him around, even struck and beat him. Obviously pushed him too far, and the fellow attacked him.
Sounds logical, Pop. Didn't you see the way Batu stared at Mr. Temple last night? He sure hated him.
I do not doubt this, my son. But I fail to understand why said Batu should strike down Mr. Temple late last night and then wait until early this morning to disappear.
You can't judge a chap like Batu by ordinary standards, Mr. Chan. Who knows how his mind works? He's jungle-born, remember?
I am remembering quite well. In fact, I have a small plan and would appreciate permission to visit suspect's room.
But what for? We've been all over it. There's nothing there.
Nevertheless, would be most grateful for permission.
All right, help yourself.
Hey, they got Batu.
Bring him in here, Smith.
Well, the inspector's got the case sewn up. I guess I'll stick around.
Evidently, my number one son prefers to investigate bird in hand. Humble father, however, will pursue elusive bird in the bush.
I can take notes, Inspector.
All I ask is don't talk.
I've got him at the bus station, sir.
Your name is Batu?
That is how I am called.
Have you another name?
I have other names in my tribe, but not here.
You're aware that your master, Joseph Temple, was found murdered this morning?
I know it.
Why did you run away when he was found?
Because I did not wish to be punished by white laws.
You mean punished for his murder?
Yes.
You're admitting you killed him?
I, Batu, killed him.
There you are, Mr. Chan. What did I tell you? All right, boys, take him down to the station and we'll get a statement from him.
One moment, please.
Now what? It's all over but the shouting.
With your permission, I would still like to shout a little.
Well, if you wish. Have you a reason?
Yes, I have a reason. I found this under floorboards in Batu's room.
Well,
what is it, Pop?
It is voodoo death fetish. Practice used when one wishes someone to die. Effigy is made of proposed victim. Nail pierces heart.
Well, there you are. More proof. Premeditation.
I think not. Batu, this is how you killed your master, is it not? Your magic is most powerful, is that not correct, Batu?
I am one of the sons of the snake. I killed him.
But not with your own hands.
My magic killed him. I cursed him and he died.
But you did not use this weapon to strike him down.
No, it was my magic. I took him tea this morning and he lies there dead, cold and dead. I ran away because I am afraid.
I'm truly sorry, Inspector, that I was obliged to burst your bubble. But please do not look so dejected.
Let him go, Smith. Now back where we started.
I got a theory, Pop.
More certain than the rising of the sun, the blooming of a flower, and the branching of a tree is the fact that my number one son will have a theory.
No, listen.
I'm listening.
What about that row I heard last night between Ross and Temple?
What's this?
Well, he said he was going to bed, but he didn't. He was shouting at Temple in here, when I pass on my way to our room. And what Temple said about his lawyer, that fits in too.
And what did Mr. Temple say about his lawyer?
Like many Victorian parents, he proposed to cut off his daughter with proverbial humble shilling if she married Mr. Ross.
Well, now, let's have a chat with young Ross, eh?
So, you're trying to pin it on me, Inspector?
I should be glad if you'd answer my question, sir. How did you spend your time last night after dinner?
Well, I played billiards with young Mr. Chan, and then I went up to bed.
Straight up to bed, sir?
No.
Would you mind telling us what you did do then, sir?
Well, as I was passing Mr. Temple's room, he called me in. We had a row about private matters, and then I left him. And that's all.
Is it the case that earlier in the evening you almost struck Mr. Temple here in this room?
Yes, I did. He needled me in front of everybody.
Called you a fortune hunter, I'm told.
Yes?
Threatened to cut Miss Anne off.
Yes, he did. But that's got nothing to do...
Just a moment, sir. You're aware the lawyer was to be sent for to change the will?
Well, everybody was aware of it. He announced it right here, right in front of all of us.
Perhaps it didn't have the same effect upon everybody. You were the one who was going to marry Miss Anne.
I don't give a hoot about her money.
Your own financial position is good?
Well, I've got a job. We'd have managed.
It's lucky the new will wasn't signed. You'll be able to more than manage with all this, eh?
I didn't kill him. He was alive when I left him.
Maybe. Maybe not. All right, Mr. Ross, you can go. But don't leave the house without permission.
Oh, Mr. Ross, one moment, please.
Yes, Mr. Chan?
When you were with Mr. Temple last night in his bedroom, undoubtedly exchanging abuse, did you notice anything out of the ordinary?
No, No, nothing.
Thank you.
What were you expecting him to notice?
Merely wondering, Inspector. If indeed Mr. Ross is telling the truth that Mr. Temple was still alive, he possibly could have noticed Temple's preparation for a later visitor.
Oh, Mr. Chan.
Yes?
I don't suppose it has got anything to do with it, but I noticed when I came into the room that Mr. Temple was reading a cablegram.
Strange, no cablegram found on body.
He placed it in a drawer of his desk.
Which drawer, please?
The left-hand drawer.
Thank you. Inspector, worth investigating.
What is it?
I'm afraid, Inspector, this suggests another line of questioning.
Yes, and another suspect, too. Young man?
Yes, Inspector?
Fetch Payne, will you?
Payne?
I said Payne.
But I didn't even see him last night.
Mr. Payne, I put it to you that Mr. Temple sent for you late last night.
He did nothing of the kind, I tell you. The last I saw of him was when we played bridge.
I suggest, however, you saw him later, and he discussed this cablegram with you.
I don't even know what cablegram it is.
Mr. Payne, you had sold your interest in the new mind, Mr. Temple, hadn't you?
Yes, I had.
So the arrival of this cablegram would ruin everything for you.
I wish you wouldn't keep on about this cablegram. What cablegram? What does it say?
Regret to inform you, reports show Honduras mine faked. Uranium previously planted, intent to defraud. Further reports and confirmation follow.
I don't believe it. I won't believe it if I don't see it myself. But this'll finish me as a geologist.
There's your motive, Pop. This guy sold his share of the mine for a hunk of dough, but that cable proved to Temple it was a fraud.
Mr. Payne, when the guests retired to their rooms last night, you did not see Mr. Temple?
I swear I didn't, Mr. Tan.
Did he at any time mention the cable to you?
Not a word. That's what I can't understand. He should have told me about it, but he didn't.
I see.
You understand, Mr. Payne, that if evidence should come up that you did see Mr. Temple late last night, you'll be in a very bad position.
But I've told you I didn't see him.
Very well, you can go, but be good enough to remain in the house until further notice. Yes, he's our man, all right. How do we prove it?
Question of cablegram inspector might also prove equally embarrassing to other member of expedition, namely Mr. Carr.
Yes, it might at that.
But I'm wondering why persons for whom cablegram might spell ruin did not burn it in fireplace instead of returning same to desk drawer.
But what good would that do? It was bound to come out later.
But very much later. Burning of the cable would be logical action for a person who would suffer by message. But evidently guilty party was not aware of its existence.
Well, how about a word with Mr. Harold Carr, eh? Not that we'll get any further, I bet.
Ancient saying, Inspector. Never bet on unsure thing.
My uncle never said anything about a cable. Anyway, I shouldn't think it was genuine. Someone's idea of a joke, I'd say.
But most unfunny joke for Mr. Temple,
Anyway, Payne had nothing to do with the faking of the mine, if it was faked. I stake my life on that.
A loyal friend is like rare white jade from ancient Hansu period. Both are beyond price.
I wonder if my uncle mentioned the cable to Payne. He didn't say anything about it. Perhaps that's why he wanted to see him last night.
Oh? When was this?
Oh, no special time, just as he was going to bed. I gave him the message myself.
Gee, Pop, that sews it up real tight for Payne.
Could be. But only one man's word against another. In court, defending counsels are very fond of this situation.
Well, thank you very much, Mr. Carr. That's all for the moment. If you'll be good enough to remain in the house until further notice.
Yes, of course.
Ross, Payne, Carr. Which is it? No fingerprints, no evidence, no nothing.
Hey, what about the girl? No one said anything about her, but she stood to lose a fortune if her father lived.
Why not question young lady, Inspector?
Let's go and find her.
He was never a real father to me. He ignored me when I was a child and bullied me when I grew up. But all the same, I didn't kill him.
If your father had lived to change his will, you'd have lost all this, eh?
Oddly enough, Mr. Policeman, I didn't much care.
No?
No, and you needn't sneer. Money has never brought me much happiness.
You weren't afraid that Mr. Ross's interest might wane if you were no longer an heiress?
That's a disgusting thing to say, and I won't stay here and listen to another word.
What a wildcat. Could be the type to hit you over the head as soon as look at you.
The best evidence sometimes comes from the mouth of the criminal himself, or herself.
Yeah, she sure gave herself away, all right. I mean, you could tell she wouldn't stop at violence.
My son, I did not intend pointing finger at anyone, yet. But, Inspector, I have very interesting idea.
What, for instance?
Collect all our suspects in Mr. Temple's bedroom at midnight tonight. Then we shall see, One of you killed Joseph Temple. Results of patient inquiry points at the same time to all of you and none of you. So tonight, Bar 2 has agreed to lend me his secret lore. The art of finding the guilty one by voodoo magic.
You can't monkey with that stuff, Chan. Anything can happen. I've seen things, I tell you.
The innocent are safe, Mr. Payne. Now, listen.
I am Bartu, the son of the snake. The power is in me, the dark power of the voodoo. This is Sabor the snake. For the innocent, a kiss brings peace and fortune. For the guilty, death.
I did it. I killed him.
And also, Mr. Carr, it was you who faked the claim to get lump sum offered by your uncle because you wanted money instead of worthless uranium claim. But cablegram arrived and spoiled your plans. Your uncle guessed the fraud, sent for you and accused you.
I tried to convince him it was Payne, but he wouldn't believe me. He knew the truth instinctively. He always despised me, and I hated him for it.
And you killed him for it. You also left cablegram where it could be found, hoping Mr. Payne would be accused of the murder you committed. Inspector?
Thank you, Mr. Chen.
Mr. Batu, for your very generous assistance, I would like to present you with this copy of voodoo recording, which with great difficulty I procured from museum.
Thank you, Master. You know something, Mr. Chen? You did some pretty good magic yourself tonight. How would you like to become a member of my tribe? I could get you tattooed with a snake and everything.
I am most grateful for your generous offer, but unfortunately must decline. Perhaps my #1 son would like to be tattooed with the snake.
Me? I hate snakes.
I'm afraid the district attorney won't recognize Miss Richards when he finds her a withered mummy.
The commissioner's been alibying his failure to turn up anything in these Purple Death murders.
You remember the commissioner and I have cleaned up crime waves in this town before.
Yes. That mysterious Captain America did most of your work for you.
I feel certain that this new crime wave will bring him out of hiding to help us.
Where's Gail Richards? Where you'll never find her.
This is Don O'Malley with Don's Breakfast Cereal Show. Thanks for watching The Green Hornet. We'll throw in a couple of shorts then after this, but we hope you're having fun so far. Key Luke played the mysterious Master Po in the television series and Kung Fu from 1972 to 1975. He was also in the sequel to that, where David Carradine played the character as his great-great-grandson. So they basically cut old scenes from the original Kung Fu series and stuck it in there using Master Po again. So thank you for tuning in, and we'll be back next time. Maybe the Tiger Woman. Who knows? Thanks again. This is Don O'Malley with Don's Breakfast Cereal Show.